Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm your host, Mike 31. I am on location, another college visit for my daughter, so we're pretty close to Watkins Glen, where we're staying at Airbnb. I have the camera off because it's too dark in here. It just wasn't loading up right, and I don't have my normal setup, so hopefully audio is okay. Truck race last night was pretty exciting. I just wish that Corey Heim's truck wouldn't have just kept on shutting off on him. I think it would have been an epic battle between he and Larson for the finish, especially with Heim being able to continuously lose power and fade back to like third or fourth spot and be able to charge and pass the um, Riggs and Chastain's trucks to get the lead back. And then Larson had got spun out and saved the truck and had to go to the back after like changing tires and stuff and just cut through the field, riding the wall like Ross Chastain. Didn't get a Darlington stripe, even though it's Homestead, and just did a masterful job of being able to use the high line there and the momentum to just pass the whole field and go ahead and win the race. So Kyle Larson is dropping down and he's in the race today. So that should make this exciting also. He might be going for the triple this weekend. And if you look at the guys in blue, I know if you watch these videos, that usually means that they're road course proficient. This weekend, it means that they are tire savers efficient. I did a lot of models and ran it, and then AI has been pretty useful too to just run some other models just to see. And some of the names were like, yep, that makes a lot of sense. And some of them were, and I looked deeper just to make sure because sometimes you can't trust AI. Sometimes it gives you some bad results, and I verified it, and I was like, wow, these are actually pretty good. So I think that one car probably they'll take 38. So one car's not going to make the field. So we'll have to try to figure that out. But going back to the truck speculation video, because this is a speculation video also, I'm sorry, I can't really help it. Just practice and qualifying are so tight. We have a little bit more of a window. I think we have 3 hours today. We're at just 2 hours for the truck, but that really wasn't 2 hours. Like I couldn't get content out to like 7:15, 7:30, just because I wanted to make sure like nobody failed like post qualifying inspections or anybody was dropping to the back and it was going to make a huge difference. So you're looking for probably at least two dominators here, maybe three. 200 laps. The truck race had 135, so there's a lot more up for grab here. I mean, it's not like a Bristol or someplace like that where it's there's 400 or 500 laps and just a treasure trove of bonus points for fast laps and for laps led. And with the tire wear, it's going to make things really interesting. So I think, and Corey Heim is also running here for Sam Hunt Racing, which I love because he did really well last night. And I think there's a chance for redemption. And if you look at the cars that have peach numbers, the ones towards the bottom really don't matter, but I just want to call out especially Larson and Heim. And Di Benedetto really said he's not running the full series, but it looks like he might be, so I'll have to see that. And Justin Baumsignor uh, has been running in quite a few races, but I don't think he's like running the whole season. So between those four drivers, and Benedetto's on the fence, but the advantage that they have is that they're not running for a championship. So stage points mean nothing. So imagine this. Imagine that they're um, something happens and they're back in the field a little bit, say like 14th, and it's getting towards the end of the stage. If they want to go out and pit early, then that's fine because they can hold their track position um, once they get out there. Because when the stage is ended, then they cycle towards the front of the field as the leaders pit after the stage break, and then they have the track position. And if they can hold it, then that's great. If it's a race or a track where it's hard to pass, especially it's crucial on road courses. The other thing too is they can play around with tire strategy. They can stay out longer because even if they're falling back into the field to if it's going to be like say it's traditionally a five stop race and they have five sets of tires, what if they could stretch it out to be a four and then at the end have this fresh pair of tires after everybody's put their fifth on, and they can pit and they're just going to shotgun the field and just blow everybody away. Like tires are that important at this racetrack. So it's something else to consider. And the top four drivers up there in the speculation model in Peach have a good chance to be able to do that to go for the win. So, one of the nice dualities of any NASCAR race, whether it be truck, whether it be Xfinity or Cup, you have those racing for them playing the long game and them playing the short game. So some of the guys just in there for that specific race are going for the win, and other ones are would love to have the win, but they need to get as many points as possible out of each race. So, starting at the top, I really like what my model did here. It gave me Larson, it gave me Hill, and it gave me Allgaier, who Larson obviously is the best driver in the field here. And again, he is in really good equipment. These Hendrick Motorsports cars and trucks through all the series are elite equipment, have the best engineering, best engine, best parts, everything that you could possibly ask for. The cream of the crop. So it's kind of like when Kyle Busch used to continuously drop down. He's in a good ride here and should do really well. Wouldn't surprise me if he got the pole. If he's anywhere else in the field, then that's just going to be place differential if he finishes first. So excellent. And yesterday I said like to split your cash, and that's what I did. And it looked like it was going to work out when he wrecked, and like my lines without him were doing well, but my lines with him did come through, and I didn't make a ton of money yesterday, but I didn't like lose, so it worked. I'll have to see on the builds today if I want to split my cash again. I think what we really need to look for is some value here, because if you watch these videos before, I call them three kings lineups, and it might be a week to try to, and you can do it without having to throw up in your mouth with the final three drivers, getting Larson, Hill, and Allgaier in the same lineup. But what you want to do is if you're going in like a 10 or 20 entry max, or you don't even have to go like all these, but like rotate the combinations, like have build a line. And I'm not saying this is a cash play, this is more of like a GPP, but in if you in probably like a 20 max entry, go with like a Larson Hill lineup and then like balance the rest. Then go with a Hill Allgaier lineup and balance the rest. And then go with Larson Allgaier lineup and balance the rest. And the fourth one, go Larson Hill Allgaier. So you're building four lineups essentially, and then you're just balancing out the rest with like the salary you have left, and you're kind of hedging, because I'm pretty confident, and you know surprises could happen, but I think that one of these three drivers have the best chance of winning this race just based on how well they did with tire wear. And the other thing too is a lot of this field, when they last raced here, I believe it was like October 27th or so. It was one of the final races in the playoffs for the last season. So it's not like they have been away from the track this long, but a lot of the drivers either moved up the cup, or like Parker Kligerman retired, or Eric Almirola is not in the field. So uh, that gives you a little bit of a discrepancy. But if you look at it in Homestead 24, Austin Hill won it, and Allgaier was eighth. But there was a lot of cars that were really good that are not in the field. The only ones between him that finished better are Creed, Love, and Ryan Sieg. So essentially, he's a top five driver based on the results of Homestead 24, the last race they ran here. Allgaier won Las Vegas last week, and Las Vegas is not like an extreme tire wear track like this is, but as the track has aged, it's starting to become a tire wear factor track, and he did really well there, and he'll finish fourth. So I really think that you need to no matter where these guys start in the field. Again, if they start further on down, you're just going to get place differential. So it's an even better situation. But even if they start one, two, three, I think you need at least two of the three in your lineup, especially in cash. So I'm not going to call them prime plays, because I really wanted to call the prime plays like some value plays that you can work with to try to get two or three of these well, at least two of these drivers in your lineup because I picked a 8K guy that I really feel strong about. But as we go through the video, I'll tell you if you want to try to get three of them, some other cash options that you could flex out for that. Sheldon Creed, I think, is a kind of a great GPP play here and a pivot off these ones. This Cole Custer in this car ran really well on tire wear tracks. I think the team understands it pretty well. And Creed has also, he just is still a little volatile. He's making a little bit better decisions this year, but still, he just has jumped from team to team to team. There's really no continuity or chemistry or anything. So I think it's going to take a while before he dials it in, but I really truly believe he wins his first Xfinity race this year. Don't know if this is necessarily going to be the race with Larson in the field, but, he's always there. Corey Heim, if you look at his points per game, it looks abysmal, but that's just because, like in Daytona, I think it was the only other race he's ran this season. Maybe it was Atlanta, he was in Rex. But again, he is very, very good at tire wear tracks. He's in um, pretty much a subsidiary of the Joe Gibbs cars. This is a good car. This is a good team. He's a great driver here. He should be driving on Sundays, as they were saying on the telecast last night. So my model has him finishing fourth. I think there's a lot of upside here, and he's a nice pivot if you're going with a balanced lineup with somebody in the 8K range to uh, to pair with like a Larson or a Hill, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Harrison Burton has actually been having a decent season. I know that I used to throw mud all over him when he was in the Cup Series, but I think he was just out of sorts up there. But dropped back down to Xfinity, and he had some very good Xfinity runs. I was kind of skeptical with this Ford A&M racing team because we all thought that it was it was kind of a subsidiary of like what our motorsports, or I can't remember who it came from. Um, but it was a team where it it should have done well, and then they put Haley Deegan in the car and she didn't do well and she lost her ride, and then they threw like Joey Logano and some like top guys in there and they still couldn't perform well in this car. So which made me to think like maybe the equipment was part of the problem also. But it seems this year they have it figured out. They've done pretty well, and Harrison Burton has been a solid top 10 driver most of the season here, and he finished eighth in Las Vegas. I'm not going to look back at Homestead last year because he was in the Cup Series, but I think that he's a dark horse here, and he's good at tire wear tracks. Also, I don't have him as blue just because he was like the next guy out of the model, yeah. So he'd be like 13th, but I'd say that he does well enough at tire wear tracks that you can definitely consider him in your large GPP as a pivot off of some of the other chalky players. And especially like my model has him starting sixth. Like he's been qualifying pretty well, but if he drops down to like 20th or so, then I think he becomes even like maybe not just a 10K play, but possibly a cash play. Smith and Jones, about $500 apart here. Homestead finished around 20th. Jones, sixth at Las Vegas. Sammy Smith, 14th. A little bit of a disappointing day there. The junior motorsports cars definitely had the speed. I think Smith is better than Jones with tire wear. Last night, you really didn't hear his name that much. Like he had a pedestrian day. It was like a kind of like I always say about Alex Bowman in Cup Series. Like it was a blue collar lunchbox day. He grabbed his lunchbox, kissed his wife and his kids goodbye, went to work for a solid 8 hours, and then came home to dinner. Nothing spectacular, but got the job done. So I don't think he has the floor enough for cash. I mean, it's great equipment. He's a good driver and everything. Sammy Smith, same thing. They should be good, but I think just compared to the other guys in the field here, I would rather take other ones. But if for some reason they biff in qualifying and they're starting down in the like, low 20s or 30s, then definitely they're going to become cash plays. Mayer has a lot of upside here also as a dominator. Don't count him out. Um, the Stewart Haas cars were good with hardware tracks and stuff, and a lot of that's on the driver, but it could also be on like the car chief and the pit crew and um, the crew chief just kind of coaching the driver as to how to save the tires. So Mayer, we saw him do that pretty well with he was in the JR Motorsports cars too. So I think he could be a sneaky pivot off of the top three up there. Ninth at Homestead, fifth at Las Vegas. So everything points to a top 10 day for him. If he starts outside the top 10, again, there's more place differential for you. Taylor Gray, like my model had him qualifying a lot better in this. I had to knock it down because I didn't think he was going to like qualify second here. 19th in Las Vegas, like he's had a he had a really good truck season last year. He's doing okay this year, but I think still the learning curve coming into the Xfinity car versus the truck. I think the raw talent is there, and I think it's going to help him eventually, but I don't think we're quite there yet. So GPP for me. Quaffle, he I'm gonna put him as a cash play just because like the JR Motorsports cars came out with a lot of speed in Vegas. If they have a lot of speed in Homestead here in practice, then if they don't, then make him a GPP play. It's all gonna depend on where he starts the field. But I think that he's got a lot of talent and a lot of experience on tracks like this and other racing disciplines. So even though he didn't finish 17th at Las Vegas, I think he's got some upside here. So keep an eye on him. Sanchez, GPP for me, 20th. Again, like the 48 Parker Klingerman was good in this car, but I haven't really seen that out of Sanchez yet. It was decent in the truck series. Again, I think it's the same thing, same story. It's like a carbon copy of Taylor Gray. Taylor Gray has a little bit more talent and is in a better car situation here, but Big Machine Racing definitely has a partnership with JR Motorsports, so that definitely helps him out there. So again, all depends on where he qualifies. Christian Eckes was really good at tire wear. He ran really well at Homestead and tire wear tracks, and used to be somebody that you definitely consider back in the truck series. So keep an eye on him here, 13th in Las Vegas. I think he's a top 15 driver. So again, if he starts lower in the field, then look at him as a cash play for place differential there. But I don't necessarily see him as going to be a dominator unless he comes out with a super fast car in practice and qualifies up in the top five. Then he could possibly be upside dominator. Swallows, I think people are going to completely write off. Like last guy out in Las Vegas, I think he had like a heating or cooling problem or something. Maybe he got in a wreck. I can't remember. 24th at Homestead, so nothing. He at least raced the track last year before his rookie season to get some experience. So hey, we'll have to see again like how he looks in practice here, but I'm going to keep him as GPP. Zilich, I think, is a cash play also. 12th at Homestead last year. He did get some experience racing and ninth at Las Vegas. So definitely, if you factor that in, he's around like lower top 10th place driver potentially here. And then Love is really good at these tire wear tracks. Also, he doesn't really qualify as well usually, so keep that in mind. But if he is up there again, he could be a dominator if he's like one or two, and like any of the other three that I have listed as dominators look like they have mechanical issues or won't get up there to lead the field until like later on in the race to be maybe like a maybe they become more of a prime play than a dominator. Um, so fifth place at Homestead, third place Las Vegas, everything points up, and I think he's a great pivot off of. I thought about making him a prime play, but I didn't want to. Eh, he probably should be, but again, I really like Larson Hill and Allgaier more. So I know I've thrown some other names out at you, but I think Love would. I forget who I said would probably be like right behind them. I know Creed's up there. I know Jaime has a lot of potential also. But I think truly like Love would be like 3A. So if one of the top three, Larson Hill or Allgaier, are not going to are starting back in the field, they're going to be more of a prime play than a dominator play. And if Love is up in like the top three in qualifying, then he's definitely taken over the dominator tag because he can go out there. He's aggressive. He can lead laps. Great at tire wear. The whole package there. Die is a decent play at 6,800. You have to see where he qualifies. If he qualifies further on down the field, he becomes more of a cash play. But right now, I have him at GPP. Bonsignor in this Joe Gibbs car. The equipment's good and everything. It just really hasn't had a great start. My model doesn't really like him. Has him starting 18th and finishing 24th. So again, he was at the C practice. If you think he's going to be a cash play, but I don't think that's going to work. DiBenedetto, he's the one that had that. I know I saw 38 on the board. He's the one that had like a cooling pump issue or something at Homestead. So his finish there isn't really indicative of what he's going to do. And then my model's way taking that in consideration because it's dropping him down to 29th. Um, finish, let me just change something here quickly. Let's say he finishes where he starts in 19th. That gives him 24. So that gets him closer to the 4X play that I look for a cash guy. So again, I he has the situation too where I don't think he's running the full season. I don't think they have enough sponsorship to do the full season. So I don't think he's worried about stage points or anything. He just wants to maybe try to get a win, and then maybe he will secure the sponsorship for the rest of the season and be able to race for a title in the playoffs. So I think that's their strategy. 16th to Las Vegas is very formidable. So if he qualifies outside the top 20, the 6,400, I think that he's a decent Clement, if as long as he qualifies 20th or down, is usually a solid cash play. 16th at Homestead, 14th or 24th at Las Vegas last week. Hasn't finished around 21st. Jeb Burton, same thing. Again, if I think he was like 15th. I just put like the top 12 up here in tire wear, so he's definitely not not horrible there either. So again, I just didn't want to like flood the field with like too many blue ones. I really wanted to highlight the top 10. And then there's a couple outlier guys that I thought, oh, these guys are interesting. So I'll put them, I'll give them the color too, just to call them out in the video. But I think Burton and Sieg right behind him are we're both in the top 15. So I think they're fine. Burton again, I think is a solid cash play, especially if he starts 20th on back. My model has him finishing 15th. Ryan Sieg, I'm going to give you as a prime play here. If you can get up to 8,200. If you can't, then Burton on top of him at 71, I think is another good play to consider. So that's going to save you like over a grand. So one of these two, I think, would is going to be your like mid-range prime play. I'm hoping for Sieg. Seventh at Homestead, seventh Las Vegas. I'm hoping that he doesn't qualify well, so he gets a little bit of place differential baked in. Also, I think people are going to overlook him, and he's been proficient enough, I think, on tire wear track. And you know what? Let me just so if you're continuing to watch this video and take notes, let's see if I can put the colors on. Yeah, I'll give him that. I'll give Burton 1, 2 here. Why is it not coming up? Oh, not gonna waste your time here. But seeing someone I definitely wanted to call out here. Resloff, he's about a 25th to 21st place driver. My model has him 23rd, starting 23rd, Homestead 23rd, Las Vegas 21st. So depending on where he qualifies, figure out how many place differential point he's going to get. And that's going to tell you if he's a cash or GPP play. If he starts up higher, he's probably going to fall down. So still figuring out tire wear thing, more of a super speedway guy, a little bit of decent on a road course. But these type of tracks, I'm not super thrilled with him. Dean Thompson and another Sam Hunt car I really like here. 15th in Las Vegas, didn't run last year. The Truck Series at Homestead did pretty well. My model has him finishing eighth, which might be a little bit high, but I think that it really likes him. Um, Again, not like a super tire wear guy, so I was kind of interested with that. But he just seems to be one that can just hold position no matter what type of race it is. So I really like him as prime play. Josh Williams has actually been decent on tire wear tracks too, but he's a guy that's a kind of a floor guy, and I'm going to put him as a cash play. If he starts 25th on back, if he starts higher than that, then he becomes a GPP. Alfredo is another one that you can maybe pivot off of if you aren't feeling the Jeb Burton call. He finished 15th at Homestead, 18th, and I have him 19th overall, which is a little bit better than what Burton's projected, and he doesn't usually qualify as well. And he's okay, not horrible on tire wear tracks. Pool, same thing here, $400 more. 15th at Homestead, 18th at Las Vegas. So you're talking about like a top 20 guy consistently in these types of races. Like he didn't get the blue stripe from the metric from the formula, and he was outside the top 15. He was in the top 20 though, um, which is better than half the field. So I think you can consider him. And Honeyman also same situation. You're saving $900 here. He's pretty close to a top 20 car. Uh, he was in the top 20 for tire wear, even though he finished 30th at Homestead last. It was his first race there and in Las Vegas. Like he was solid last year, and I think he's got some upside. Actually, pools the prime play at, at 22, and Honeyman I think's got some floor for cash. Perez, GPP, he was one of the surprise ones for tire wear, 28th. So if he starts like down the 30s like he usually does in the Alpha Prime car, he's got a chance to maybe get like five, and he's the cheapest driver in the field. So unless he looks really, really turtle slow in qualifying or qualifying and practice, unless it looks like he's like really, really trying to save tires or something, but a read on him is going to be crucial, I think, because if you're trying to get those top three guys in, you might need this 5K guy to make your lineup work. Kyle Sieg's usually solid, also really good run in Las Vegas last week at 11th, 26. So he's another one that starts in the 30s, can get up into the 20s. So I'm fine with that as a GPP cash play if he starts further on down. Smithley and Gase, they're starting to get down to the bottom here. I think they're okay. Joey Gase has outperformed his equipment. Um, Mason Maglio is, I think both Gase cars are Toyotas. I think it was a Ford last year, and that's where Maglio got his designation from. So Maglio, I don't like as much. Gase, again, I said it just has been outperforming his equipment recently. But again, these are all bottom feeders. Emmerling came up in the top 12 at tire wear, and he's one I was like, what, are you kidding me? You look at it, and I actually looked at it, and he actually has really good data for it. In one of the models, he came out number one, which I was completely astounded for. So I'm going to throw him in the 10K lineup because as I looked at the data, like, okay, it makes sense. Like he he's going to be towards the back of the field, but does really well, not pushing the car, saves the tires, and usually progresses and advances a little bit beyond some of the other ones. So I'm going to be looking at him there. Right in Ellis, if you're down in this area again, I think you're just going to pick between Smithley, Gase, Wright, and Ellis. You always run the risk that they're going to fall down multiple laps if they can't it's not a short track, so they're not gonna get like lapped right away, but it's sometimes like you had a couple trucks last night that I thought were going to be the great 10K guys, and they both ended up like two laps down to like finish, and maybe that they got caught up in the wreck early or something else went on. I had stepped away during one point of the race, and then I just noticed they and like Ben Rhodes was down four laps, and then ended up breaking down and being out of the race. So the moral of the story is like between these like 5K guys, between Perez and Smithley and Gase and Wright and Ellis, if you need them in your lineup, just pick the guy that has the best place differential odds at starting closest to back to the field, as long as he wasn't turtle slow in practice and qualifying, then I think you have a little bit of upside there for a GPP if you're going stars and scrubs. But Perkins was the other guy that in this Jordan Anderson car doesn't really qualify well, and he only has him finishing 35th. But again, he's not as good as Emmerling with tire wear, but he was like right 12th, right like right on the line there. So I thought, okay, that's interesting. I'll just throw him out there, and he's a little bit more expensive than the other guys, and I think it's just because the quality of the Jordan Anderson car base compared to the other ones down here isn't as is better than the rest of them. So I think that's where I'm going with the 10K guys. Maya Snyder, um, between Snyder and Ellis and Maggio, like one of them's not going to make the race. I think like the green light cars have enough, and the C cars should have enough owners points to make it in there. I think it's like Dawson Cram's probably the one that has the red because he's the one in this Mike Harmon car that I don't think has enough owners points if he can't make it in on speed. And he's just not been a good driver here. So I don't think he's going to make the field. If he does, he's probably going to be a fade for me. And then I said Maggio is probably the second fade. So, but again, with these 5K guys, you just got to see if they don't look egregiously slow in qualifying practice, then take the one with the lowest price that you need for your lineup that is closest to starting to the back, and that should give you uh, some more like place differential point options potential for you to try to get like Larson Hill and all there. So that's where I want to go. Again, Creed and Heim are other ones that I really want to consider GPPs. Burton's super sneaky also. Mayer is another one to look out for. Love. And then like Sieg is one, but if you can't get into that range, then I want to try to get into like the 7K range. So give me like Burton. And then the 6K range is really rich with like Clements, Thompson, Williams, Alfredo, and Poole. And then Honeyman like right on the cuffs of it at 5'9". If you want to try to get the three kings in there, that's how you got to do it. So I got for you. If you have any questions, put them in the chat below. Hit me at MegaRower31 on Twitter or X. If you want more information on FSi DFS and you want to get into the Discord, um, if you pay the $5 like late enough on Saturday, like right like half an hour before the race or whatever, because again, it takes a while to get stuff out there, then it's like a full week. It's not just this weekend, it's gonna carry you through next week. So if there's a race or whatever next week, then you'll be able to capitalize on that one. So you're not you'll definitely get three races out of it. But hopefully next week we'll have qualifying and practice. I haven't looked up at it yet. Before it's just hard when they do it this way. But Cup is always you have the results. So tonight I'll have the Cup video. I'll have actual information and it'll be good. But I really like these speculation videos. They've really helped me talk through and think about the slate. And hopefully, and I know you've made a lot of comments too that they've helped you also. So appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for the Cup video. Good luck in your contest. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next time.